Hello everybody, welcome to Stick to Manga, your weekly manga podcast where each week we talk about a new manga, and this week we're talking about Gray, a new upcoming manga written by Chris Hornet. Just a disclaimer, this manga was provided to us for free for early review by Chris himself. It's only one chapter. We only get one chapter. So it's not going to be a lot, but hey, here we go. After a lethal virus outbreak in Nekarima, later dubbed the Sonoma incident, the government was left with a country in chaos, destruction, and division. As a sign of good faith and last attempt to restore order, the board of officials allowed the people to elect a team of highly trained tactical agents to serve and protect. So, we're going to completely dive into this, so spoilers ahead. Go ahead and order it. It's releasing in July. It'll be good fun. So my first talking point is what the hell, which is what I put right as I finished reading. I was like, what the hell just happened? The first chapter of this chapter, it feels like a lot happened really, really fast.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, though, because it makes me want to read next. I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
Which is what a good first chapter does. It, gets you interested and makes you ask some questions. But because we only read one chapter, sometimes it feels like I'm overanalyzing it.
Yeah.
But it did make me want to read more, and I'm interested in this world, and I'm interested in how the Bureau works, and I'm interested in the people they're calling Nimbus. And I want to know more because it said in the, I don't know what page it was, 3 or 4, the two bureau agents walking around, and they're like, it's because we aren't flashy as those Thundercloud kids. They run around here doing weird stuff with their fingers, turning their prana into fire and water. And I was like Naruto? hand things, because that's the only, there's probably more of them, but that's what my brain went to.
And prana is life energy. So they're basically taking their I guess their spirit and just manifesting it into elements and magic. So Nimbus is this, it's a section of the organization, a section of the bureau that was specifically made to protect the people. And so the bureau is basically a police force, and I guess Nimbus, I guess you could consider the special forces of that police force, because they were specifically elected by the people.
But they have some sort of power.
Yeah.
But, okay, I guess what I'm interested in, because I don't know a lot about this world yet, is if everyone has this innate power and they can just be trained, or do only the people who are elected are they the only ones capable?
So if you go on Chris's Twitter at Hornet_, he has a bunch of stuff about the backstory of the world and the different races and the different characters. So I guess from what I understand is that specific races have the ability to use their prana, whereas standard humans cannot. So that's why those two bureau guys are yeah, we can't use prana like Nimbus. That's just what I've understood.
That's fair. I haven't gone much onto the website yet. I kind of wanted to read this first chapter without knowing anything else, because sometimes for me that's really fun and it can change your perspective, and you can kind of start to view the world as the viewer does. So, but I'm definitely intrigued, so I'll probably go onto his social media now to see stuff.
There's a lot of questions that get put out in this first chapter. It's who's Winter, Uh,
How bad was the virus outbreak, and does it have anything to do with the model who almost exploded? Like, people said that. Like, is she going to explode?
yeah. I guess this virus makes people explode.
That is so intriguing and honestly horrifying. Like, that makes me really intrigued in what the virus does.
Also, the scene where that like she comes out and she's like her arm and like part of her torso is just like torn apart. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
fuck, what the fuck is this?"
Well, that's her sleeve.
Yeah.
She's missing an arm, but her sleeve is there. That dangly bit is her sleeve.
Oh yeah. That is. Her arm is
So
ripped off and like her eye looks like it was gouged out.
yeah, it does. But yeah, we get questions on what winter is. Also, that little hand thing, I tried to do it and I'm still confused.
What I want to know, is the model Winter a cyborg? Like, what is she? Like,
She's not Winter. We don't know who Winter is. That's the question.
okay. Well, I mean, this like the model at the beginning where she almost seemed like she was going to blow up. Like, I thought she was a computer. So is
No. She's just a person. She's just bleeding. That's what me and Jake were talking about, how we think that the virus has something to do with them exploding. But he does some really cool power stuff. I really, really like how the art does the glowing
Oh yeah.
using the screen toner. I love that. I think that looks really cool. Also, I love all of the different skin colors. Just saying. It's not very common in manga to see that. I really like it.
Yeah. It's which is really interesting because Chris is a person of color, which is really cool to see in the manga world. Like right now there's actually like a really big uprising of like people of color like manga artists and like manga authors. It's really cool to see.
I like it. I think it's so much more interesting when you see so many different types of people in manga. Like one of the first up close characters we see is like a white man and a black man. So it's really cool.
Like,
and then the pretty female who's friends with Shuyin. I like it. I think it's really cool.
I think they're lovers.
Are they lovers?
Because when he's like freaking out, she's like, "Babe."
Oh, almost. Clearly, I'm not good at social cues.
Yeah, like when he sees that like the kitsune mask, he like freaks out, and she's like, "Babe, what's wrong?" And it's like,
Yeah.
Wasn't that like a dream?
I'm not entirely sure.
That's another one of the questions we have.
It's like
I'm wondering if it's a vision or a memory.
More likely a bad memory. More likely a bad memory, but we won't know until like later on in the chapters. Like we won't know. But I mean, like we don't even know how, like where this is going to go or anything. Like I'm actually kind of excited about this one.
Yeah.
Like really like the background art.
Shout out to Artie.
And it's also real, like the manga art style, like it's almost more realistic, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a fun mixture to me. Like you can see modern elements and you can see older manga elements, and I think that's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
You can also see inspirations from like not just manga comics but like normal comics as well.
Yeah. So this manga is going to only be in physical form for people who purchase it. But it reads from left to right rather than
That threw
right to
me off.
left.
That threw me off at first. Because I'm used to reading right to left when it comes to manga.
Yeah.
But man, the art is really nice.
The
Like, I
art
love the contrast.
is
Like,
amazing.
some mangas look so flat in terms of color, but there's a lot of dark blacks to whites, and there's many different types. Oh my gosh, like different types of face shapes and nose shapes. A lot of times there's a lot of synchrony and like similarity between faces because that's, you know, how a lot of artists works, but there's like characters look so different in this one chapter. I think it's so cool. I love it.
And I hope that like keeps up throughout the rest of the chapters that come out.
Yes. I also like how they draw people without faces for the half background people. I like that too.
There's so many questions. Like the whose winter thing is like, is it Shuyin? Is it somebody else? Is it who is it? And then there's a character that's introduced right at like the end who's Willow, and she has like tentacles that come out of her, and she's like
She
I'm
she reminded me of Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh yeah, that really reminded me of Tokyo Ghoul.
She looks cool though. Her little face paint or scar or whatever it is.
Yeah, she looks.
Also, was a little horrified about the guy on the left. How you can see his face, like. Not a fan of that, but we've gone over this. I'm not big on gore.
The face paint.
Yeah, she has
just like a little face paint over her eye.
Here.
This is kind of random, but I really like how there's a map of the world.
Yeah.
At the end. That's amazing. I love books and novels and anything that puts a map in something because I'm a visual person, so it gives me such pleasure to see that there was a map that looks like a traditional map. It's beautiful. I love it.
And it's really nice to have because like one of the questions I had was like, what is Yamakan? And it's a place in the world. So what happened in Yamakan? I love mask motifs in media just because I have an obsession with masks.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this is a pretty cool mask.
It is a great mask.
It's Katsune.
Kitsune.
Thank you. I cannot speak today. But that's the thing about this manga too, is that it does make you ask so many questions, but I don't think it makes you ask too many. Like, it makes me ask the right ones that make me want to keep on reading. Like, I want to know more about the plot.
Like, I don't remember why, I don't remember if this is a sewer they went into or, like, what place they entered when they met the girl with the scar, though. Let's see, page 30, I think, for reference for you guys.
Page 30.
Let's see here.
So page 30 is the... What's happening in the page?
Okay, so we're led down some sort of tunnel because I think they went into they found a secret entry.
In a tunnel.
So once in the tunnel, guy finds blood splatter. And there's another model.
Oh, Madel?
Oh, Madel, not model. I am so sorry ahead of time. I will probably mispronounce things in gray. So sorry to the author. I don't mean any offense. Yeah, and then like this octopus lady, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the best way I could describe her.
Willow.
Oh, that's Willow. Okay. Okay. I'm really bad with names and stuff, so I apologize about that again.
I think that's
But
Willow.
but what was the purpose of them being down there?
They
Like, were
stole
they
I
that
just
think
trying to?
mask.
Madel also got this person, or Shuyin, to follow her. I think Willow wants to see Shuyin, I believe. That's what I think, but I could be wrong.
Also, what is Manara? Like, that's written on the box. It's like Manara 05 some 255.
We don't know.
We don't know
There's...
yet, Jake.
05/255 Manara in its little box, and it has the Kitsune mask in it. So, what is Manara? What's the importance of this mask?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions that I want answered.
Okay, there's a scene where it's just showing a bunch of people, and it's showing like a woman in like a black trench coat, and I'm like, is that Willow? Is that Willow sneaking through the crowds? I'm probably just trying to draw clue. Oh, it's not Willow. Willow has full on like a bodysuit on. She's full clothing. Like, did
Yeah,
Shuyin turn Willow into this tentacle monster?
or does it have something to do with winter?
I'm really curious about this. Like, the art in this is amazing. What's the present Madel delivers? Like,
I don't know.
I
Shuyin is scared about it.
I want to know. Like, as soon
I
as I
want
finished
answers.
reading
Yeah, no.
this, I I I went on Twitter, I DM'd Chris, and I was like, dude, I need more. You've hooked me. I need more. Why you gotta leave me hanging like this?
I agree. I'm definitely hooked and I want to know more. I really like when an author can make me not only intrigued in the story of events, but also the world itself.
Hmm.
And Chris has done that for me. So,
Uh, so we should wrap up. Uh, Kevin, what would you recommend this to people? Would you say go out and buy this?
Um, yeah, well, it depends how dedicated you want to be, right? Like, I want to read it as it's coming out. So, like, I might buy the book later on for support. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I can't say I would recommend buying the book yet, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely say keep following, keep up to date, like read.
in a lot of words, Kevin recommends it.
What would you rate this first chapter of Gray?
Definitely, I would give it 8.5.
Okay. Why would you give it 8.5?
Well, because there's like character development. Like I feel like there's a lot of things missing, so I give that like 2.5, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Story was very intriguing, so I have to give it a 3. And what was that art? I
Mhm.
really like the art, so I have to give that a 3 as well.
Okay. Gabby, what would you rate Gray?
I would give it an 8 out of 10 thus far, but to be fair and disclaimer, it's really hard to rate something by a first chapter.
Oh yeah.
Like, really hard. But I really like the art, and like I said, he really intrigued me with the storyline and the world, so I want to know more. So it's really good. But it's really hard for me to judge something by a chapter
Mhm.
because the first chapter is where you set up so many things and you get them asking questions.
Yeah.
So I feel I'm I'm incomplete and I'm unsatisfied, but because I don't have answers to my questions because it's one chapter,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. But yes, I would recommend it, and it's really good, and you should all keep up with the artist and the story.
Mhm. Um, I would, I would give it, I would give it, I think I'd give it a 9. I think I would give it a 9. I think I'd give it a 3 in everything because I loved the art. I loved like the characters, and I just feel like there's a lot of chemistry through between the characters in this first chapter, and the story that has been set up is really intriguing to me because I want to know what's going on with these characters. Why are they so like intertwined already? Like what happened between them? I like that he put a lot of effort into setting up the world. Like the first couple pages is like him explaining everything about the world. Like not everything, but like the big points you need to know. Like this is what's happening in the world. This is why it happened. Here you go. Artie did a really good job with the art. Chris did a really good job with the writing. So like these two working together is like I think a match made in heaven. I can't give it a 10 because I'm not there yet. Maybe once like a full volume is like released, then I might be able to give it a 10 if it keeps hold of me. Right now it's a 9 because it was really good. Like I was so excited after reading it that I was like I was upset that I didn't have more. Uh so with that, do some social shoutouts. Gabi. Oh, I think Gabby disappeared. She did. Uh, well, you guys can follow Gabby at Show Me Your Manga on Twitter. Uh, Kevin, you don't have any real social media to shout out currently,
Not
right?
really. Not currently at this point in time. I'm in the process of learning how to do like better be a better web developer for our site that
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating.
Yep.
And I've been busy with work and stuff, so
And
doing the best I can.
oh yeah, you can follow me at Make Me Your Manga on Twitter, and you can follow the podcast at Sit Manga on Twitter, Sit Manga Podcast on Instagram, and you can look up Stick It to the Manga on Google, and you'll find basically everything about us. You can find our YouTube, you can find our My Anime list, our Twitter, our Instagram. It's all out there. You can find it. It's great. It's good. Um, so with that, we'll bid you adieu. Bye bye, manga fans.
Bye.